Welcome to Year 11 Information Evening. I'm going to take you through some useful techniques to practice towards your son or daughter's forthcoming exams. Pre-public examinations will take place in November and they need to be ready. The more assessments that are practiced, the easier it will be later in the year. The main emphasis is on learning key terms and formulas and knowing the structure. The enterprise exam comprises one exam, Component 3, Promotion of Finance, which is being covered throughout Year 11 and was touched on during Year 10. The paper will be assessed in the November exam. The paper will be completed in 60 minutes. The week beginning November the 9th, students will sit their enterprise paper while the real exam is in February, and then again they have a second chance to sit the exam in June. Students must focus on learning the key terms from Year 10 and 11 and formulas also from the theory learned in both years. Alongside this, exam structure is vital to enable students to pick up the most amount of marks. The paper is out of a total of 60 marks. The exam paper will test students' knowledge and understanding of promotion and finance in enterprise. The paper will ask questions from across Year 10 and 11 theory linked purely to Component 3. Therefore, students must ensure they revise content from all three sections studied in Component 3. Section A covers promotion, Section 2 covers financial records, and finally the third section is based on financial planning and forecasting. Throughout the financial side of the paper there will be many calculation questions. All formulas must be revised. Many of the questions show the student the ratio to help them understand how to complete the formula, but to have a good knowledge of these makes it very beneficial to understanding and gaining the right answer. It is important that they show they're working on all calculation questions and that they write their answer on the dotted line provided and not just anywhere. Active Teach is our online resource and is available to access in school or from the home laptop or computer. To log in, please follow the information in the PowerPoint. If you or your child Googles Active Teach, the Pearson link should be clicked. Then log in with the username BusinessTCC03, which is all lowercase, then password 03 for the password, again all lowercase. I will now take you through some useful tips to revision. It's important that your child revise as well. The focus I would suggest is on key terms and formulas because if they understand the key terms, this will ensure they have a good understanding of answering the question given and therefore will pick up marks. Structure is also just as important and we will continue to practice this in class time. It is useful they are comfortable with their equipment, therefore their own calculators would be useful. On the other hand, if they do not have their own calculators, there will be calculators provided. A ruler, pencil, pen and highlighters are vital. Highlighters will allow them to make key terms stand out. The structure, as previously mentioned, is very important. Each mark is structured in a different way. Students have practiced this in class time as well as for homework. 2-mark answers warrant a point which answers what the question is asking and then an explanation with an example. 3-mark answers warrants a PED structure, which means answering the question for the P, explaining and giving an example for the E, and the stating what it would lead to for the development. The 6-mark structure is an advantage and a disadvantage based on times 2 PED paragraphs plus a conclusion with it depends contained in it. A useful technique is to use flashcards. These can be used by adding the key term on one side and the definition on the other. This way means that the student can be tested either by a friend, a parent or even independently, as they cannot see the definition if it's on the opposite side of the key term. Blank flashcards are available from school, or they could just use some old notepaper if you've got some at home. By adding colour makes it even more effective to them remembering the meanings. Practicing exam answers is vital. We practice in class, but it's beneficial to continue practicing in spare time. Practicing after school or at home means that students realise that time is important and they ensure that they get answers completed in a given time. This is usually linked to the mark awarded. For example, a 6-mark question should be answered in around 6 minutes. When students add a conclusion, they must assess their answer and justify which is the most appropriate outcome, but then also add an "it depends" in the answer. For example, if the question asks which shoes are most important to wear for walking, either trainers or wellies, the conclusion should state, "it depends on the weather." And finally, it is important to continually be tested. Parents, carers, friends can all help to support exam preparation. By being tested, the student can realise what they keep forgetting and what they need to work on more to embed the knowledge. They have a tracker with all the theory that has been covered in class, and they can use that to identify which topics they find more difficult in order to focus further on. Assessments are important both for staff to understand where students are at and what areas are necessary to be revisited in further detail, but also for students to understand their stage of progress. Therefore, it's important that they are supported to ensure they engage in this process. If they require anything at all to support the preparation for the forthcoming exams, please just contact me on harrington.f@trinity.npcat.org.uk. And can I just add, thank you for taking the time to support your son or daughter at this time.